we can go to the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. So I stan this album. This is my favorite album of the year. Everybody knows I love this album. Every single song is almost perfect in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of Snowchild. It's just a little bit boring for me, but I mean it's not bad. I'll still listen to it. It's just probably my least favorite track. That's why I said 9.5 and not a 10 for me. I gave it a 9.5. But so um my top three tracks from it are probably In Your Eyes, After Hours, and let's see what was the other Faith. Those three are just they're tens, bro. Like he really outdid himself with this album. I definitely think it's his best album. The whole '80s like kind of vibe to it.
Yes.
He sounds like freaking Michael Jackson, bro. Like better than Michael Jackson. People are gonna come at me
They
for
are gonna
that,
come at you for
but
that.
I mean, I would never bump Michael Jackson, but I would bump The Weeknd.
Bro, who out here not bumping Michael Jackson?
You're bumping Michael
I do bump
Jackson
Michael
every
Jackson.
day?
Not every day. I don't bump The Weeknd every day either, though.
I bump his new album every day.
All right, so for me, I like the album. It's probably my favorite of the year so far, but didn't like it quite as much as Sam did. I thought give it about an 8.5, 8 to an 8.5. I agree with Sam. I really like the 80s vibe that the whole album brought. I really like the production on it. And, I mean, The Weeknd, of course, did a really good job. There's not really a bad song on it, but there's just songs I'm probably not going to listen to again.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, my favorite song's got to be Alone Again. The intro track really just, like, it really hits. And I listen to that song a lot. And then Hardest to Love, Save Your Tears, I've listened to both of those a lot. And then I think Faith is an all-around favorite for all three of
Yes,
us.
Faith goes nuts, bro.
All right, Dylan, how about you?
Well, as I stated before, R&B just really isn't my thing. However, I did give this album an 8. It's really it's perfectly produced in my opinion. The production is really good on it. Do you have to give them that? Uh, every track, it's like the vibe, like Sam was saying with the 80s vibe. That's really cool. I really like that, especially since I used to listen to 80s music all the time. But my favorite tracks on it definitely have to be about to hate me, but I kind of like Snowchild on the first listen.
I also really like Snowchild.
I like After Hours is probably my favorite track on the
After
album.
Hours, yeah.
Probably my favorite track. Also like Faith and Save Your Tears are probably my favorite tracks all around on the album.
All right. I guess with that, we can move on to Eternal Atake. Probably the one of the biggest, if not the biggest album that's dropped this year. Very
Y'all didn't
anticipated.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but y'all didn't put Tame Impala's album in here.
No,
y'all
I didn't.
y'all ain't
I've been sleeping on Tame Impala. I've not listened to it yet.
bro, that's like one of the biggest albums this
I
year.
know, and I've not listened to it. It's been like 2
I'll
months.
talk about it. Y'all
We
don't
can-
have to talk
All
about it.
right.
Because I've listened to it.
Um, but first, let's talk about Eternal Atake. I've been waiting for this album a long time.
I'll go last. Because
Everyone
I'll go
is.
last. Y'all are gonna praise it, and I'm gonna come in and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna.
So, I've been waiting for this album for a very long time.
Yes, yeah, we know.
And while it was not a 10, I still really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to give it 7 to 8 out of 10.
You got to pick one number. You can't pick two.
7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
On this one, it had some misses like urgency. No one's bumping that song. That song was just bad.
That is literally the best song on the album. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
And
No,
then,
it's not.
and
It's
then
not bad.
there was a couple songs where like parts of it would be like offbeat, like Silly Watch. The hook is offbeat. And
There's a
stuff like,
lot of it that's offbeat. Sorry, I keep interrupting. Go ahead.
and then but there's also some really good songs like Low Main, Prices, Bust Me, Venetia, Chrome Heart Tags are all like songs I'm listening to pretty close to daily from that album. And then if we include the deluxe, like Myron, I've been listening to that song since like 2018 because it's been a leak, and I've been bumping that on SoundCloud forever. So I was super excited when it got officially released. And then we got songs like Bean and Come This Way, Trap This Way, I Can Show You are all really good songs that I also listen to very often. So yeah. Dylan, how about you?
Well, are we? Let's just say we're taking into account of the
Yes, the deluxe is part
the
of it.
deluxe too. All right.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of just straight Eternal Take without the deluxe, listening
Yo,
to it
chill, bro, with your mic. You're like,
My bad.
that's super loud. Okay. Yeah.
listening to Eternal Take, not the deluxe, for the first time. I mean, some of the songs. I mean, it felt like it was kind of missing something almost. Which I
Yeah.
mean, I suppose would be like the auto tune from previous albums, which they said that they're gonna remix that, so that'll be pretty cool. But so far with the deluxe, it definitely bumps it up for me. I gave it an 8.5 with the deluxe. I know Sam's like, no, it can't. It's gotta be like a 5.
It cannot be as high as an 8.5, bro, but
But definitely Kobe coming out, that was pretty fire. I really like Pop. I know it's offbeat in some of the parts, but like you just gotta bump it, man. Chrome Heart Tags is pretty fire, as well as probably one of my favorites. Got to be Prices. I hate to say that, but it's a bop. All right, Sam. Now give us the breakdown.
okay, bro. Nah, they just gave me the crazy. I'm about to come and
Sleeping.
just shit on it, bro. Okay, so me and Will are pretty much Lil Uzi stans. We've been listening to him for, like since he first started dropping music, pretty much.
Sam is not a Lil Uzi stan.
If I don't like the album, I'm not stan.
You're
Bro,
not.
I can have an opinion on it and
Oh.
still be a stan. I like worship the ground this man walks on, bro.
Huh.
Okay, so my first problem with the album is the mix is not very pleasing to me. It's the hi-hats are really quiet. The vocals sound off key, and a lot of the album are just not very pleasing at all. They're like off key, and it just sounds like he wasn't really trying that hard to give like a good vocal performance. And like the audio engineer just said like, "Oh, we're just gonna leave it the way it is. Like, don't fix it." And if we're talking about the deluxe too, like all of the leaks, Myron, Lotus, Bean, those songs need fixing, bro. Like Bean, the snippet was, y'all know this. I've been bumping the snippet for like a year and a half before this came out. I would like the worst quality, like coming out of Uzi's car, and I was like, y'all wait till it drops, bro. They just took a lot of the sauce out of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the mids are too quiet, the hi hats are too quiet. The worst part is the vocals are off tune, and they need to throw that auto tune back on there to sound better. Like, believe it or not, these rappers are not like super good at keeping their voices in key. the song sounds so much better when you have that auto tune. Sounds depressed on Bean. Whereas on the snippet, it sounds like saucy, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just I cannot give it. I'm being generous when I say a 5 because there are like 16 songs, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, give or take. They're like at least half the album is some mid to me. It just doesn't hit right. But but the songs that do hit are good. Like my favorites are Chrome Heart Tags, Venetia, Bust Me, Prices. I really like Trap This Way and Come This Way, Myron, Bean. So that's 8 songs out of like what 32. So that I'm being generous when I give it a 5, but it's elevated to that level just because the good songs are really good, and I feel like once they fix the mix, it'll fix a lot of the problems with it, but it's still just like it could have been executed a lot better. I feel like it's just kind of like I can't give it any higher of a score than that. It's just like it's just pretty mid. There's too many songs. Like there's it's just like polluted with these songs that you just like you don't really ever want to put on. Like in my opinion, I just I can't give it any higher than a.
Yeah, I guess some of the songs could be like that. Those songs that you listen to on the first time, and then
Yeah,
you just never
exactly.
listen to it again.
I mean, personally, am I gonna put on some of these songs? No, but except Urgency, if someone put it on, I'm not gonna be like, no, turn it off, turn it off.
I mean, I
I
would.
I I would say Urgency is the only song that's like actually trash. Like that's the
That
one
song is
bad
bad.
song. The
That is a
problem is
bad song.
there's so many songs that are just mid enough to where I'm never gonna put them. And that like when like over half the album is that for me, I mean I just can't like a 5 is generous, bro. Like
All right, let's